My name is Borys. If you look at us, what we on a daily basis, we're a company that delivers technology for retail. And sometimes I feel that we are a kind of doctors. So just like when you go to the doctor and say, okay, you need this and this pills, doctors understands, okay, what's going on behind there, what kind of problems are happening. So the same is with us. When we talk with companies about technologies, we more or less feel and know what's going on behind with their processes, what kind of issues they have, and how the situation in the company looks like. So if you are going to talk to technology companies, remember that they are able to identify the problems that you have behind. And if you look what's going on, or what was happening with e-commerce in the last few years, there was a constant growth, and probably a lot of businesses would like to have a growth like this. With some of the investment, I don't know, Bitcoin guys would probably love to see this type of growth. Especially if you look also at the pandemic, this growth really rocked and increased dramatically. And all those situations, even including the current challenge that we have with in retail, with some drop of sales, people have less money, they buy less money, it's still making an e-commerce strong. So even though we are, in general, retail is selling a little bit less and people are trying to check exactly how much the money they spend, how they spend the money, still they try to look for more occasions. And we are a little bit back how e-commerce was a few years ago. So a few years ago, we were going to internet to find product cheaper, to find some better proposal, to find some shop that can deliver it us at a good price. Of course, if we look at all this growth, especially this growth that happened during COVID or within last 3 years, it has a lot of consequences and it affects a lot of what's going on within the companies. So this growth has its own internal cost. The main few factors that I will try to show you today, how this growth, or what were the costs of this growth. There were some parts of the business which really has been affected by this dynamic growth. First of all, it was logistics. About last year, around September, we've done a survey around 50 companies in Poland, also our office in Netherlands, about what kind of challenges they have with the logistics. And as you see, about 30% have issues with their warehouse operations. They're facing a lot of problems with shipping costs that they are too high, and a lot of issues also with the returns. So this growth and the cost of such a quick increase of sales means there is a big inefficiency in how the logistics is operating. So especially right now, when we have a little bit drop of the sales, all those inefficiency in logistics are becoming quite a big problem because they are consuming the margin that the companies were having or were able to generate before. A quite similar situation within such a fast growth is with customer acquisition costs. You'll probably be very surprised that a lot of companies, they have a challenge and they have a problem to tell us when we talk to them, okay, so what is your lifetime value of the customer? Or what is even a short time, your acquisition cost, and which transaction, which of the sales is sales where you make money or where you plan to make money in the future. For a lot of them, they cannot answer this question. It's more like, okay, we spend budget, we put even more budget. Yeah, we have increase in sales, the figures are going up. So this was our goal so far. So again, in 2023, in first quarter, where we start to see that the orders are dropping slowly, it suddenly generates a big challenge on saying, okay, so which transactions really are the transactions where we make money? If someone hasn't been analyzing this before, if someone hasn't been checking this before and monitoring and identifying it, gets into the big problems nowadays, because it's really hard to say, okay, if we turn off our budget and if we reduce our budget, our sales will drop. and we have a problem to identify which of those are really generating the income. What's specific about e-commerce? If there is such a high growth and a fast increase, as you can imagine, there is a big lack of the people with experience on the market. So it's also not the case that the companies wouldn't care about their acquisition cost or wouldn't care about the lifetime value, but people who are operating or who are responsible for those e-commerces quite often have no experience and have no real knowledge how they should calculate it and how they should look like. So we're entering 2023 with a lot of inefficiency that was happening in e-commerce, and suddenly it starts to generate a lot of challenges for those companies to really see which direction and how to go and how to optimize it, which on our side means we also have a big shift in what's coming to us as a company that is delivering technology and that is delivering services. So within Q1 23, we have a big shift and change in the direction of the investment. Right now, we're also including our German office and German entity. So looking on the Q1, we have about 300, so 3 times more inquiries about product information management solutions. So those are the systems that are helping companies manage their product content. So all the description, translations, images, which quite often have been done very inefficient, sometimes in Excel files, sometimes with very low quality, affecting, for example, sales. So if you look, you can check one of the days, check the major fashion retailers to check how detailed they describe the product. Yeah, they have a big challenge because they are in such a rush with new collections that they don't have really time to and solutions to prepare the right type of descriptions, which means customer buying those products and they see, okay, it's not my size. Yeah, it's wrong. It looked okay, but it's really not this. So people return and this generate problems. There is, at least based on our activities, a big increase in marketing automation requests, which means that the companies try to realize, okay, we've been spending a lot of money, we've been really focusing on getting new customers, but within this last few years, we managed to build quite a big database of existing customers who already bought something from us. So maybe the growth is not only right now to be generated by getting the new ones, but also focusing on how to efficiently work with the internal existing database of the customers and try to do more upsell, try to really utilize the existing database more often. And the third increase that we see is an increase in order management or more demand on order management solutions. So some middleware that is between e-commerce platform and the internal processes in the companies. Systems that are responsible for better assignment of the orders, for example, to the warehouse to reduce the cost. So that also shows that that companies are looking on how they operate on the logistics, how they can improve the logistic thing. So looking at those figures and this situation, and again, our position, we're quite often talking to customers about their technology needs. We see what is really not working there. We predict in the second part of the year, this year and probably beginning of 2024, we'll have a bigger and bigger consolidation processes. Not all the companies will be able to manage the current situation they have with sales, so they will have to work on some mergers. We'll probably have some shift and changes. Also, there are companies, and we see it based on the data, who are increasing their sales, yeah, who are working very smart, who've been working on those optimizations. So even if the retail is dropping out, they are doing quite well. They are even growing. So it's going to be a perfect time to invest in effective companies, it's going to be a perfect time for those who will be a future leaders. So looking at the e-commerce, I think we all should be ready for some changes in upcoming quarters, and maybe after a year or two, we'll see that there will be a new leaders on the market. So I hope this will give you quite interesting insight. If you have any more questions, feel free to talk and discuss if you have maybe some different observation of this e-commerce market. Thank you very much.